Greetings, hi, and hello everyone. My name is Jason Petitfrère. I'm a speaker, I'm a podcaster, and my life's work is centered around allowing the world to meet the true you by helping you think, speak, and eventually live better than yesterday. We do this first by establishing a good reason why, a strong and powerful motivation to keep going when the going gets rough. Second, we need awareness and acknowledgement of what's holding us back. And third, we need scalable steps forward as a reliable bridge between who we are right now and who we need to be tomorrow and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. This, my friends, is how you go from stuck to thinking as, speaking as, and living as the true you. Friends, I messed up, and I want to acknowledge that I messed up. I scoured the vast library of my past 3 episodes to find the spot where I'd mentioned, and I quote, "a very simple way to at least get you started on your path to fulfillment and actually getting to wake up excited about the day." End quote. I'd hoped that I only promised it on a future episode, but it turns out that I'd said I would cover it on the next one, which I didn't. So please forgive me this misstep, especially if you were actually looking forward to hearing about that simple method. You'll have to further forgive me, though, because I must first take some time to make this one distinction. It's an important one, so hear me out. I believe that in my attempt to make a passing remark, I may have given the illusion that this was not just simple, but also easy. Allow me to warn you now, though. Nothing that you will hear on this channel or podcast will ever leave you unchallenged. I'm not saying that everything I say will rattle your bones or that every bar I spit is gonna blow your mind. I am saying what I am saying. You will be challenged by what you hear. It is solely up to you, though, whether or not something is done about that challenge. So let's go back to one of my favorite subjects to give you a proper visual. Good old mathematics. Let's say the variable designated c is what you're solving for. The formula I'm giving you reads like this. The letter A multiplied by the letter B equals the letter C. I think anyone would agree that this is a simple formula, yes? What makes it not so easy is the fact that A is a whole other set of steps within a set of parentheses just like B. You've got to solve for those before you can qualify for receiving the answer to the seemingly simple formula of A times B equals C. You still with me? Okay, for anyone who hopped off at the last intersection, here's the short version. This is simple, but difficult. Don't be discouraged, though, because anything truly worth having or enjoying comes with a price tag. Literally, John Burroughs says, for anything worth having, which I just said, one must pay the price, which I also just said. And the price is always work, patience, love, self-sacrifice, no paper currency, no promises to pay, but the gold of real service. If you're having a hard time finding what it is you are born to do or who you are born to be, well, here are 3 questions that can really help you to further hone in on some of those elusive answers you may be wondering about. Starting with number 1, what is a major and reoccurring struggle that I've dealt with in my life? Number 2, what problems in the world or in people do I have a tendency to notice or pick up on regularly? And lastly, number 3, to tie it all together, thinking back to some of my recent wins or fulfilling moments, are any of them a result of making progress on dealing with the answers to questions 1 or 2? The more and more that question 3 ties back to either of the first 2 for you, the closer you are to putting your finger on not just who you are meant to be, but also some of what you are meant to do. The how is a case-by-case thing, and there are indeed ways, just like this, to find those answers more directly, but as of right now, I'm not really equipped to guide you in that direction because I myself have yet to really walk it all out. I believe I only have the right to personally take you to where I have been. Anything beyond that would just be me pointing you to more experienced sources. This brings me to my concluding remarks and our quote of the cast, as it were. Ed Milet, a world-renowned speaker and entrepreneur, said this: "You are most qualified to help the person you used to be." I could keep talking hypotheticals with you, but that's not our bread and butter here. Here's my skin in the game. Who did Jason used to be? I'll tell you a part of who I used to be. In high school, I had a reputation. I was pretty good, but I wasn't great. In the military, I also had a reputation. I was very good, but I still wasn't great. In my second-to-last job, though, things were different. Guys, I finally broke the mold of being pretty good. That time, I was average and got fired. Yeah. On the best of terms, and I love my old boss to this day. She was dope to work for, but she had to let your boy go because, being 100% transparent with you all, I was just not delivering well enough in my areas of responsibility at the time. That's the short story, but what's my point with all this mention of not being great? To answer that, I used to be someone whose identity was continuously stunted by a learned deficiency. Even with my smarts and talents, I was constantly doing just enough to be pretty good. While some people might have been impressed with much of what I did, I knew intrinsically, inside myself, Jason himself knew that he was definitely capable of so much more. That right there was a huge source of frustration and lack of self-confidence. This is all real-time stuff, you guys, because I don't believe I really started to seriously break through that particular invisible ceiling until about 2 years ago, and I'm turning 29 this December, which is pretty ridiculous to say out loud, honestly. That's just a piece of who Jason used to be, and even just that one part of my past opens up the curtains on a pretty vast audience of people who are tired of feeling stuck while fending off their unrelenting urges to be greater than they've been before. That may not directly apply to you right now, but stick with us long enough and your number will get called. Eventually. I only pray that at that point you'll claim ownership of it in such a way that inspires those around you to do the same, because none of you are alone. Your number, your struggle, as it were, is shared by so many others. More people than you might think. And eventually can turn into the rallying point at which you get to gather and mentor others who used to be just like you. Look at me, or listen to me. I don't have all this down to a super science yet, but I'm out here anyway. I take you through the paths I've walked and refer you out for the ones I haven't. Someone you know right now is crying out for help and needs you to do the same for them. You don't have to know all the answers. Just show them where to step, since you've been around that way before. Listen, I believe in you. You are stronger, wiser, and better equipped than you realize. You're beautiful. You're strong. You're handsome. You're capable. You are worthwhile. And as broken as you feel, as fragmented as your soul might feel right now, or at some points in the past, or maybe at some points in the future, nothing about you or what you've been through is wasted. You can use every single ounce of it to win, to triumph like you are meant to. Again, I believe in you. You are stronger, wiser, and better equipped than you realize. You have what you need right now to start thinking as, speaking as, and yes, living as the true you. Thanks for listening. Hi friends, Jason here. I want to thank you again for your time investment of listening till the end. It seriously means a lot, and I would further appreciate knowing what you think about the show through either the like button or your own comments and DMs about what impacted you the most in this particular episode or in any other. The point is, I don't want you to be shy about taking the step to communicate all that. Lastly, I invite you to stay connected to this life-giving community by following or subscribing on whichever platform you prefer to watch or listen. You'll also find more nuggets of gold sprinkled here and there by looking up @JasonPF_TRU-U on all socials. Again, that's JASONPF_TRU-U. Let's learn to think, speak, and live as our true selves together.